What's going on, world? It's been a minute. Make sure I got everything. Hold on. I don't know, bro. I feel like I'm supposed to just stay outside because every time I go home, I'm just sneezing, like blowing my nose, man. But I'm like, my hair is fresh enough. Everything is more balanced now. You know what I mean? Like I said, the temperature dropped about 10, 15 some degrees, but it's like, I don't know what it is. Nature's not even fighting back. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not even sending a little pollen or whatever, pollen bombs and shit like that. But energy itself has been so low, constantly having to blow my nose and shit. Constantly having to blow the nose and constantly having to spit phlegm out and everything. You know what I'm saying? Chilled out for sure. Yeah, man. And it's interesting because it's like, what's going on, So? Laren's in the house. And my energy is just like so. It's just weird, man. It's like so. It's crazy because I was talking to Cider last night in the chat, and even Cider was saying something about their energy being low, and I was like, honestly, like yesterday, I just slept most of the day. Like I slept most of the day around like 1 or 2. I started to turn the PS2 on and finally got to recording, and then I was like, bro, I just wasted a lot of time. But it's probably time I needed to just rest up because I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm forcing too much of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, bro. I couldn't tell you. I appreciate you being here though. You've been grumpy for no reason. You've been there too. You've been feeling that too. I don't know how I feel about it, man. I don't know how I feel. Energy. Yeah, you think it's everybody? That's what I'm thinking, man. That's why I wrote down in the title. Going with the current versus going against it. Because right now it feels like I'm just kind of going the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like I feels like I'm just, or sorry, I'm not going the other way. I'm so used to going against it that this is the first time that I've kind of felt in the past month or two. This is what it feels like to kind of just go with the flow. But I think this is the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I can't really call it though. But yeah, man. I don't know what to make of it. Oh, my bad. You guys working on pitching? You guys doing? Nice, nice. Yeah, man. You guys watching the game too? Mariners game? What's the score? Ugh, damn. All right. Every time I wear the other team's hat, we usually win, but we'll see. Yeah, it was working on They got a little. That's what I was wondering what that thing was the whole time. They just working on baseball stuff over there, but I think we're playing the Cubs right now. We're in Chicago. Seattle Mariners are in Chicago, so I'm kind of sad about that. I'll go across the street, but yeah, man, it's the first time in a while that like I feel like I went with the flow of things. I think for the most part, I'm usually just trying to go against it. Like even if I feel grumpy or whatever, even if I feel like slouched up, I'll just kind of force it, and then I'll just force it and create some consistency. Excuse me. Um, but more lately, I feel like I've just been like, hey man, just trust this process right now, and I find myself being, a little more. Empathetic is one thing. I feel like I've always had a level of empathy. Maybe I haven't been 100% empathetic sometimes, but you know, that comes down to like, what's the word? Emotional awareness or whatever, right? But the point I'm making is like I feel like I'm relating to people more, if that makes sense. Simply just going with the flow. Like I understand where people are coming from. Um, I think what's interesting is like people that, let's say I'm having a conversation with people, whether it's the guy that works at the store and just chopping it up with him, or his wife, or whether it's like some random on the street, some random on the bus, a bus driver, etc. Some person at the old workplace. It's just anyone I run into, or just even family members. Sometimes they're trying to grasp what it is I'm telling them, or things that I'm talking to them, just whatever it is I'm talking about with them. And I think I've kind of noticed this within myself, where like it feels like I'm overly correcting them or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm overly trying to adjust what it is that they're saying about me. Like I think it's fair to say, if someone's trying to define you, that's one thing. But I think when people are genuinely trying to understand you, you don't have to like overly correct them. And I've just kind of noticed within this time period that like within myself, I've probably been a little off-putting with certain people just on accident. But I will say, like, just kind of going with the flow of emotions and energy right now, with everything that's going on, I can safely say, like, I'm starting to understand. You know what I mean? But That all comes from just slowing down and taking a break. You know what I mean? That kind of just comes down from just chilling out for a second and really taking a moment, like just really that's the power of pausing a bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, we play around and we joke around and we pause all the time, but that's the real power of just like taking a legit pause in time and just reflecting on self. And I wasn't even trying to reflect on self, bro. I didn't even care about like self examining my shit. I just was kind of just trying to go with the flow and excuse me, go with the flow and go against it at times. Like, you know, if I found the energy within myself, I would just go, you know what I'm saying, and just knock it out. I'd be like, I don't care if I'm tired or whatever. I'm just feeling what I'm feeling, and I'm gonna go through it. Go through it, and I'm gonna go forward. Like that's just how I felt with stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it right now. It's just it's a weird kind of weekend, I guess. You know, things aren't going my like literally nothing went my way today. You know what I mean? Nothing was going my way, but it is what it is. Anders Harvey, what's going on, Anders? Appreciate you dropping in. Appreciate everyone that dropped in on me up to this point. You know, sometimes people, if you hear from the playback, make sure you check that live chat because you know that's when people, you know, they get at me, they talk to me, they say stuff, and I try to talk back to them when I can, you know, or you know just respond to them and whatnot. So I appreciate everyone that drops in on my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like also there's like a weird kind of a lingering energy of just like I don't know if I just want to be, you know, I spend a lot of time just day after day, week after week, just showing up to the same, you know, coming up here to the same neighborhood and just like doing my little thing and just recording and going live and, you know, saying knocking it out and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Just staying focused on everything. You know what I'm saying? Just staying focused on the whatever. But here I am, man. Just you know, the day to day, the consistency was really what had me tapped in with stuff. But it's funny. I was really looking at the polls. You know, we have these. I have those polls up for people to vote, community posts and whatnot, and I was double checking it. And I remember one of the options was like 4 times a day. Excuse me, four, two, three, two, three, 4, and 5, right? So two, 3, 4, and 5, and I believe 2 or 4 was the top one. So I haven't really been on top of that, but I'm not mad at it because you know if you need to take time, you got to take time. But that's just me bending the rules at um yeah, I'm losing track of my words right now. That's me bending the rules and bending the whatever at my own I don't know expense. I mean something's just off right now. But I will say like anyway with all that being said, the amount of productivity that happened today was beautiful, even though things didn't, you know, it was a slow start, but nonetheless, I got rolling, if that makes sense. And that's the whole point, man. That's the whole point I want to let people know is like, you know what I'm saying, the day can start out right. Excuse me, the day can start out right for you, and then you'll just, you know what I'm saying, you'll be on point. You're just the whole day, you'll just be, yeah, everything's working out and everything's working out, and then you won't be phased. But I realized something about myself today, like nothing was working out in the morning. Nothing worked out. Conversations and what, you know, even like small speeches that I had with people just didn't seem to be in the mood. Even them kids didn't seem to be in the mood to talk about baseball, even though they're outside training and practicing baseball right now. But it's really interesting because, you know, um, with that being said, I'm just like within myself, if that makes sense, within my own power, like everything is smooth, bro. Like I can't explain it. Like you gotta understand. And also, like I was listening to a playlist of some upbeat music, some funky stuff, some just some upbeat music. So I probably was just like in a zone a while ago, like you know a couple hours ago. But let me break it down like this, man. You know, yesterday, you know, I wake up around 10. No, excuse me. I always wake up around 7, but then I was like, let me stay in bed. Woke up around 10, and I'm like, let me eat breakfast. I'm just chilling, 10, 11, eating breakfast. It starts to get closer to 12. I'm just watching the game with my brother, whatever. We're watching it, we're chilling, and then it's smooth, man. It's smooth, but I'm slightly getting work done. You understand? It feels very unproductive, but I'm over here doing some AI imaging of some projects that I'm about to do in the future, which is like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm being productive, but it feels very slumped. So even in my slumped energy, like sitting on the little lounge chair, just watching, you know, like having baseball in the background and just chilling and, you know, not really wanting to socialize or be around anyone or whatever. Hold on, let me if I move down this way, then you can see more of the clouds. You sit right here. All right, there we go. So that kind of, oh yeah, it's getting white. Hold on, let me go down here. You can see the clouds. There it is. There it is. There it is. Come on, let's get the lighting back. I might have to point it upwards I might have to fix it and put it upwards because every time I get closer, the clouds get white. But I want you guys to see the little details in the clouds right there. So let me stand right here. There we go. That's perfect. So yeah, it's really interesting because you know, energy was just low, and I'm just sitting there in the little lounge chair, just kind of doing my thing and not really minding anybody's. My brother's talking to me, but I'm like barely. I'm like halfway listening, just focusing on my phone and focusing on the work, getting it done. The game is in the background. Cal Raleigh hits a home run. Cal Raleigh is making history. You know what I'm saying? This is yesterday. And then I get right up to my room and I'm like, I'm just looking at my space and I'm like, things are already plugged in where they need to be. That lets me know that the day before I was setting myself up for success, not failure. So I just followed suit, stayed on top of it. You understand? Like, it's the small details that you prepare yourself for each day. Like, literally, like last night, I remember, hold on, I'm gonna go like piece by piece. Um, Started knocking out 8 to 9 hours worth of just footage. You know what I'm saying? Just knocking it out till about 12 or 1 a.m. Just like sitting there tapping in with I'm paying attention to Cider Taco's live. Shout out to Cider Taco. Paying attention to her live. You know what I'm saying? And then just like back and forth, just watching this, watching my screen, just like because I'm playing an RPG, so I can kind of multitask. I just got shit playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Just paying attention to the chat, tapping with the ASMR at night. You know all that. Just kind of paying attention to stuff, just tapping in with things. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of everything. So it's really interesting because it's like I don't know, man. The flow of everything. Waiting for the garbage truck to pass. Actually, that was like compost, recycle, whatever. But the flow of everything was a little strange for me, so I didn't know what to make of it. But nonetheless, things were getting done. And then, like I said, that was the flow of yesterday. Like I said, looking at my space, I was prepared for what I did for myself. Thursday night, I looked at my space. I was like, damn, I really set myself up for success this morning or this afternoon since I was so late on everything. And then this morning, same thing. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. Like I looked at my laptop and all of my cords and stuff that I have plugged in for it. Everything was unplugged. All the proper cords I needed. The little power adapter. Everything was put away, snug in my backpack. So then I could just lift my backpack up. I don't have to sit there and bag things up. I remember clearly like last night, just sitting there like that feeling where you got to use the bathroom, but it's like let me turn off all the systems. Let me unplug everything. Took out all the what I'm saying, power strips. You know what I'm saying? Took everything out, make sure I bagged everything up, put it in the bag. You know what I'm saying? I did everything in like a fashionable order. It took me less than about 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Didn't take that long at all. It was cool. It was smooth. Took care of it. Like I said, this morning I was just able to go. I ate and I went. You know what I'm saying? Same thing like last night. Or afternoon. I guess you would say there was just food that I knew was like I don't need to eat this tonight, but I'll probably eat it tomorrow. And then lo and behold, in the morning it was already wrapped up. I'm just like I just got to heat it up. Heat it up, take the hard boiled egg out. I ain't gotta heat up the hard boiled egg, but just sit there and what I'm saying, take off the shell and just go about my day. So that's all I'm doing, man. Like it was just cool, man. It was just smooth. It was just smooth, man. It was just smooth. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like even on like days like this where I'm not feeling it, and like what Solarian is saying, like what my friend Cider was saying the other day or whatever. It's like, and I met Cider through Solarian because that was probably like a Twitch raid or something, like a stream raid or whatever you call them. It's interesting because meeting all these people and tapping into each person's live. Even shout out to the twins, man. Shout out to the twins. I'm on the twins live, and I don't even know if was I in there last night. It was either last night or the night before, but nonetheless, in the past 24, 48 hours, they were kind of in a slump too. I can kind of see them like kind of just tired looking. They might, who knows? They might have been smoking, who knows? But they were tired and they were forcing the energy out and kind of just like finding it. So I was like, man, I put some energy out there into the live chat, made sure I let them know that there was love on my end. And as long as I do that, I'm not saying I'm trying to get it back, but as long as I do that, I get to see them in a more positive space, if that makes sense. They'll take the energy and they'll turn it into something positive. So I don't know, man. It's just, I see, like I said, you don't have to do a whole lot, man. You really don't have to do a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. You know what I mean? It's the whole concept of just getting the ball rolling. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It's, uh, it's just a thing. You know what I mean? Here the temperature's dropping from like 80, 85 back down to 70. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's a 10 to 15 degree drop, and it's like it's not. I'm not saying it's not healthy, but it's like it saps a lot of people's energy when it's so drastic like that. And I'm definitely affected by it. Before it was kind of like I don't care what the weather's looking like. I have enough coats and sweatpants and shoes like prepared for each weather. Like I'm more than prepared for each weather. So it's like I have nothing to trip about. But again, there goes my proactiveness and whatever, just preparing me for stuff. So, but I can't act like I'm not feeling the energy of what's happening in the time right now. Like I don't know what it is. I can't make any whatever of it. There's a whole lot of other aspects. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us are being very sensitive to the times around us and the energy around us in general. You know, people just stressing about the wars and like, you know, I got a friend that's like of, you know, both Indian descent and both of Pakistani. Actually, I haven't seen this girl in a long time, but she used to work at the hospital, and I would just kind of say good morning to her. But you know, same thing. It's just like you have those kind of things. You have people that feel way about the Palestine Israel thing, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So the whole energy behind that is kind of just like happening around us. There's a world war kind of happening, unraveling around us right now, whether that's happening within our own soil, in our own country, or just like abroad. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's all kind of there mixed with just this overcast, and it's like you can't act like the energy itself that's looming around isn't a coincidence. You can't sit there and say it's a coincidence for too long. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, my bad. So I'm very just aware of all that stuff. I'm aware of all these factors, but nonetheless, you know, let's say I survive, then you know, every day I'm alive, that's another day I get to live, right? That's another day to be thankful, right? That's another set of 12 hours, another set of 6 hours that I slept through peacefully compared to other people who have to go through the rumblings of a bomb dropping or just like gunfire and shit, and they got to get up and move. You can't get no time to rest. Motherfuckers just staying on top. You know what I'm saying? A well-fed group of soldiers is over there just like sitting there fucking people's sleep up. You know what I'm saying? And because they're well fed, they're able to just like sit there and create some animosity to wake some people up out of their fucking sleep. You know, shit like that. And that's worldwide. That's even in our own fucking country, bruh. Like let's not get it mistaken. That happens in our own shit right here, man. We got ice raids right now happening, some bullshit right there. So there's a whole type of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot going on, man. And I'm not trying to make any light of it or you know make it heavier than it needs to be, but it is what it is. Everybody's feeling it right now. Everybody feels a way about something, right or wrong. Other people are choosing to laugh about it. Others are trying to help others laugh through it. It's just happening. Nonetheless, it's just happening, and it's just like I don't know, man. And you know, for me, it's like I feel it's my responsibility to sit there and just document, you know, things that are happening in the moment, things that are just you know going on right now. Where it's like, all right, you know, this is something. You know, I'll give you an example. When I first played Dragon Quest 8, that came out in '04, but I started playing it in '05, right? '05 was what? Katrina. So you had a Katrina situation as much as you had them tsunamis and other shit hitting Thailand and Haiti and shit like that. You know, all these different type of things that were happening in '05. You know what I'm saying? We can't act like there wasn't other things happening, earthquakes in Japan, etc. So you had all these kind of different worldly events, but not necessarily like war related stuff, unless you're talking about, you know, Burma and like what's you know the Burmese area and I forget the name of the other place, man. Burma and there's another spot down there. I forgot the name already, dog. That's on me. My bad. But all them spots right there, like it's just like, you know, Tibet. I guess you could say the same thing, right? My whole thing is like, I was playing it in that era, and then I played it again in around 2012, 2013, something like that. When I was in a slump, there was shit going on in that era. There was stuff happening in that time period. There's stuff happening on all them time periods, and I'm over here documenting the whole time the gameplay. That's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? This is my ability. On top of it, hop on live and just sit there, share my thoughts, and you know, spread some awareness on the emotion. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that, man. Just that's where I'm at with it right now. Is like it's as much as I want to sit there and think it's a me thing or just sit there and relate to every other person that's going through a slump of energy. It's like everyone's feeling it, bro. Everyone's going through that emotion right now. Everyone's feeling that heaviness of it. You know, however you want to define it, the heaviness of this global shit, and this local. You know what I'm saying? Domestic shit, whatever you want to put it. It's happening. It's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? However, which way you want to look at it. You want to look at it from a lens of politically correct vernacular, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You could do that, and then at the same time, you understand the translation of someone else's frustration, someone else's anger, someone else's frustrations of their own privileges, and then just able to just march and chant from here. Like it, you know, any form of positivity helps. You know what I'm saying? But for me, any form of functional push forward helps more than anything too. But a lot of people don't really think that way. But you know, I'm not trying to sit there and be neutral, but that's just where I'm at right now. I got to get shit done for myself because at the same time, when it's all said and done, me caring about someone else, I got to go back to being me, and no one's gonna care about who I am at the same time. So I got to get both up at the same time. You know what I'm trying to say? I got pause. I got to sit there and just get on all all ends of the spectrum. I gotta sit there and tap in on everything. So it's just like I gotta sit there and tap in on the lives, act like, yeah, I recognize you guys. I understand the emotions of what's going on, the heftiness of what other people are feeling right now. I'm sitting there and I feel it too. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But at the same time, you got to be mindful about where I'm at. Like, what can I do with my own time? What can I do for myself? And it's like that's why I said this morning everything was weird because it's like I sat there, I called some people, I called I called some people, and then I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers ain't picking up. Then they called me back and was like, like, my bad, I'm busy right now. I forgot. And I was like, damn, you're right. And I just texted him like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot that you were telling me you had something going on this Saturday morning. I forgot. So I just, it was one of those, like, I was looking forward to seeing someone and I forgot they were busy. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, okay, I guess I gotta, you know, because like I was supposed to catch one of the first buses to get up the hill. And then like I missed the first bus, so I had time to kill. I'm just hanging out, just doing shit. I'm like, I got time to kill. Let me just be productive. I finally catch the second bus, get up the hill. I'm ready to call this person. They're busy. Like, damn, they ain't even nearby. What the fuck? I'm over here on the way to go see them for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So things just weren't working out. And then I'm over like, all right, let me go, since they're not here, let me walk all the way across the other side to the next busy street. Let me find that bus over there. Let me catch that bus. So I'm there early. I'm over here looking at the time. Like, oh, it's going to show up in like 4 minutes. It's going to take me a 3-minute walk. So I'll probably get there and then within a minute it will show up. I'm standing there. You know what I'm saying? I say what's up to the homeless dude who be living in that shelter. I'm just standing there. I'm like, damn, this bus ain't show up for like 3-5 minutes. I'm like, what's going on? So I look down the street. I don't even see it. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like, you know what, man? I'm just staring at my phone the whole time. I'm like, all right, let me just get to walking. Because at least if I get to walking, I can catch the other bus down the hill, catch me north. The fucking bus I'm waiting for just passes me up. I'm like, yo, nothing's working out for me right now. Go back north. Go back to the other main street that I was like normally on, officially or originally on, I should say. I'm trying to time it. I'm trying to time it to get there because it says if I get there, I have a minute to get to the next bus stop to get to the other side of the hill. I missed that one again. I'm like, bro, I keep missing all the buses today. That's like 3 in a row. Missed 3 in a row. So I'm sitting there at the coffee shop, grab me a coffee, next to my barber shop. Grab a coffee. I'm talking to the people. I'm like, hey man, is there a code for the? I make my order. I tell them the same thing every time. I say, hey man, I normally just like I trust whatever you guys want to make. If you want to make a certain type of coffee, go ahead and make it for me. I appreciate it either way. He's like, all right, we'll make something for you. Made something for me. I said, is there a code for the bathroom? He said the code is on the door. So I go to the door, punch the code in, use the bathroom, get out. Right now, this is a hallway you have to walk outside of, and then come back into either the barber shop or the coffee shop. Man, the coffee shop door is locked. I'm over here like, am I in the right building? I'm tripping in the hallway. I start knocking on the door. They're laughing like, oh man, my bad. We didn't mean to lock you out. So everything just not flowing. I'm like, yo, things are not flowing right now. I'm just sitting there chilling. Owner of the barbershop comes around the hallway. He starts knocking shit down. He's picking it back up. I say, what's going on, man? Who you got for game 7? And he's kind of in his own zone, just like, shit, man, that's that Pacers OKC, man. And he's kind of mumbling to himself, but he's just trying to go through his day, order his sandwich and his coffee and go about his shit. And he's just like not trying to talk to me. I'm like, damn, I don't know what's going on. Nobody's feeling it today. Nobody's in the energy. Nobody's in the mood today. This is kind of crazy. So I'm over here tripping. I'm like, man, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna just sit here my next 5-10 minutes and just wait for the bus to come around. I'm sitting there. I'm just over here. I'm over here listening to I'm bumping GNX trying to get my energy up. Like, get my energy up. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, I'm like looking at the time, like, oh, the bus is showing up right now. So I get across the street. I finally catch this one in time. Get up the hill. I'm telling you, man, everything's slow. I get up the hill, right? So the thing is with the buses, when you enter, you get on the front, and when you exit, you get off in the back. I'm in the back, over here, just like I don't put my palm on that shit. I just put the back of my hand on the little sensor to try to open it. The shit's not open. I'm like, come on, dog. Shit finally open. I just wave. I say goodbye. I get to I'm sitting there at the library. You know what I'm saying? I'm up here sitting at the library, just doing my thing, just getting situated. I'm typing my shit in. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, cool. I pull up Indeed, start looking at them applications. I'm looking at what I should do first. I'm like, fuck it, man. Here we go. I start getting into the mode of things. I said, fuck that. I put on my playlist with all my funky ass music, all the music that's upbeat, all the shit that you would shadow box to and start grooving. You know what I'm saying? Get that footwork in on. I put that shit on, like an hour and a half worth of a mix of like just everything from Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire to, you know what I'm saying, Sue Jorge, some Brazilian funk, you know what I'm saying? Trombone Shorty, all that shit, just keeping it funky, just keeping it grooving. I'm getting that music going. I start typing up these applications. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I'm cruising right now. So I'm getting shit done. Like I said, I had 9 videos from the night before. 9 videos, 8 to 9 videos. I'm over there uploading them. Speed, it's just getting done. It's getting done. I just got out that shit, man. The song that I left on was Shaka Khan, man. I'm over just flowing, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just like I use the music as a catalyst to get me through the day. But nonetheless, like I said, it was the fucking slowest, one of the slowest starts ever. I'm like, yo, I'm an adult, man. I need to get shit productively done. But this is what happens when you get off your rocker a little bit. This is what happens when you get off consistency and shit like that. You just start losing it. And I'm over here like, let me get back to flowing on this. You know what I'm saying? I saw the score. I saw the Mariners and Chicago score. I got a little down. My energy got a little down. I was like, fuck all that. I'm gonna bring it back up. So I just played that Shaka Khan, walked out. You know what I'm saying? And here I am. As soon as the Shaka Khan song finished, I hopped on YouTube, saw some funny shit, clipped on the fucking mic, plugged that shit in, pause, you already know. And I got going. And that was like the first thing that popped in my mind was like, you know, going with the current versus going against it. You know what I'm saying? That's really how it feels right now. And it's like the more I talk about it, it's like, you know, it amps me up because it's like why am I at a setback? Why am I feeling like, you know, something is going against me and I have to fight against it? You know, some like I know I'm flowing with the current, but it's like as I'm flowing with the current, it's like why is the flow of this shit hella heavy on my back? Pause, super pause. But it's just like why is it happening like that? But it's happening nonetheless, and I'm aware of it. So I'm like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like either adapt or go against it. And part of me wants to turn around and start socking. You know what I'm saying? Just turn around and just start swinging back. But I'm also like, yo, this is what it is, man. You just floated a little bit. It's just happening right now. I'm just going with it. And it's interesting, man, because everybody has this weird. For some people, it's like a heavier depression. So other people, it's probably a question of their own what's the word I'm looking for? You know, people want to be reliable. People want to be able to be utilized. So I think there's a lot of that going on right now. I'm sensing that from people where people just feel a little less. I guess incompetent is one of the words, right? It's just like they don't feel very useful to people right now. They don't feel useful to society. They don't feel useful to themselves. And I'm seeing that, and I'm hearing that a lot lately. I don't know what it is, you know, from the few people that I tap in with and the few channels that I'm, you know, tuning into. But nonetheless, one thing I keep coming across on my algorithm is just work that's already been done. So videos that have been uploaded a month ago to videos that have been uploaded a year ago, even music videos that were uploaded 13 years ago are like, you know, 10-year-old music videos that are I'm able to view, still continue viewing now. And it's just like, I have to remember that, like, as much as this is a mind boggling time, as much as it is like an energy depriving and an energy bogging time where everything is really low and being suppressed and, you know what I'm saying, and attacked to some degree. Um, I have to keep pushing. I have to put something forward because there's something to be said. And you know, who knows, man? Who knows if the digital stuff will outlast whatever? You know what I'm saying? Who knows how that works? Maybe it works for me in the long run. Maybe it doesn't. But at the same time, that digital footprint, I have to sit there and apply myself to it. You know what I'm saying? I got to sit there and, hey, man, you know, during this time period where everything was just low and things are being compressed and attacked and smashed on, pause, you already know, things like that to that degree. During that time period, I chose to just continue working. I chose to recognize and like acknowledge that, yeah, there's a different type of weight that every human being seems to be feeling right now. I don't know what it is exactly, but it seems like I just want to be someone who just keeps on pushing. You know, some people they feel that same energy and it's real heavy for them, but they're like, yo, I'm still gonna clock in tomorrow. I'm still gonna show up tomorrow and, you know, build my own food. You know, make sure I create my lunch and pack my lunch for myself. Some people are still taking care of themselves. Some people are yeah, still see motherfuckers right now get up and they're still running and jogging in the morning. You could sit there and argue, oh yeah, they have a certain amount of money and privilege. Sure, that's fair, but at the same time, some people everybody's feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going through the same kind of feeling right now. So it's just happening, bro. It's just happening right now. It's just all around us. But you gotta understand a lot of that comes from like, you know, I think the human race really is just tapped in with each other on a different level, especially like in this era, and we feel what's going on with this war shit, man. Like, I mean, there's different scales, man. There's the shit that's happening, you know, Israel, Iran. Between that, you could even discuss Pakistan, India, but then there's these smaller ones and smaller places that are happening. Like I said, in your own backyard, on your own soil, it'd be happening too. You got to be, you know, you got to be cognizant of that shit. You know what I mean? You got to, you know, people don't recognize it, but it's like, you know, everyone from the crackhead, you know, there's a couple of kids that I used to know, used to go to school with, and some of them I don't know what happened to them. Either they, you know, they just out there as a fucking fiend right now, or who the fuck knows, man. Just that itself is a war in of itself. You know what I mean? That's someone battling something that they couldn't get through. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's someone whose family got broken apart. It wasn't their fault. It's just victim of circumstance and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Them You know, you can sit there and be like, yeah, they didn't get off their ass and apply the work. I can say that for certain people because I know that to be true. But at the same time, certain people, it's like the reason why they don't want to get off their ass and work. You know, some of them, in all fairness, it's like all they've ever done is work, and all they've ever done is just been shut down. I've known some people that all they've ever done is work and try really hard at life, and then still get harassed, and beat up by cops. You know, shit like that. Like I've known people who really tried their best, and then they still get fucked up by police. They, can, you know, it's just they're going to and from home. Some people really try hard, but it's just like within the environment that we come from. Sometimes it's just like they still get attacked by people that don't want to see them succeed at all. They just want to see them like, hey man, remember you ain't shit. You a piece of shit just like us. They don't want to give anyone a chance because they never seen nothing past the bullshit we was used to. So it's just I'm aware of these things. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I feel for people, but at the same time, you know, I gotta look out for me as much as I want to protect and preserve people's mental and spiritual. You know what I'm saying? I'm very cognizant of all this shit, but you know what I'm saying? I give people energy the way I give a bum some spirit change, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, if I got it, I got it. But if I don't got it, I'm gonna just say, you know, God bless, and I'm gonna be about my day. That's it. Because I got shit to get done too. You know what I'm saying? My expertise is in the fact that I was nerding out over this specific stuff at a certain time period, and here I am documenting it now. My expertise is the fact that, you know what I'm saying, I showed up every, you know, it's funny. I'm gonna tell you something crazy because I thought about going on live one of these days. There's one of these days, right? Let me check the time on this shit, bro. We doing good on time. Yeah, buddy. 80 other, like, I can't remember what day it was. It was like, it was one of them days. It might be like Tuesday or Wednesday. I gotta check my text messages and shit. You know, like I said, I'm over here getting work done. I'm uploading shit, and I'm just typing it up. Library, you know what I mean? Doing my thing, getting shit done, getting shit done. I can't remember. I don't even grab a soda. I was like, I'm gonna go straight home. I said, fuck with that. I'm going straight home. Yeah, I'm going straight home. That's what I was feeling like. On the way down, something told me I was like, man, should I go back to the taco truck because taco truck got what I like? You know what I'm saying? Everything from the quesadilla to the torta. I said, listen, man, if you go back to the, I started talking to myself. I said, listen, if you go back to the taco truck, don't get the torta because you don't need all that right now. You don't need that shit right now. You just need a quesadilla. You just need the burnt cheese, dog. You just need the orange off the tips. That's all I'm thinking about. So I'm like, all right, hit the corner, get down to MLK. You know what I'm saying? Hit the corner. I see the I'm go walking down the street. I'm bumping something. It was I can't remember what playlist I had. I knew I had some vet pass by Gucci Man going for a little bit, but then it was some other stuff came on. I can't remember what showed up on the shuffle, but nonetheless, cut the corner, and then I'm on point. I don't know why, but I'm just like sitting there, like, well, I don't know why, but I'm just on point right now. Walk past the grocery store, his car parks. You know, there's an OG that gets out the whip, and he's kind of just giving me the like the head up in the head, and I'm like, okay, what's good. I was like, I didn't know if he was walking towards me or going to the store, but he ends up going to the store. So I'm like, okay. I sit there, I turn the corner, I get inside the little sand lot or the little dusty lot because it got rocks and sand and shit up in there. You got rocks and dust and sand up in there. But that's where the taco truck be at. So I be in there, I go straight to the taco truck. I'm over here like, well, where's my girl at? Because my girl, she don't speak English, but at the same time, she knows my order. So every time she sees me, she's just like, she's ready to say, how you doing? Or whatever. She says something in Spanish, I forget. But she can't speak English that well. But she talks to me all the time, and I be sitting there trying to like sit there and use a little bit of Spanish I know to let her know I want the torta or the quesadilla, and I might get a drink. I don't know why this day I started switching up. I said, damn, let me get something different right here. So I was like, dude, let me get the quesadilla. And then I reached inside the little, the little ice chest. I grabbed the sangria, whatever this shit called. Oh no, I got the what I get? I don't remember, dog. It might have been the jarrito. Was it jarrito or the sangria? It's one or the other. I just think it was jarrito. I forget exactly. So I grabbed bop bop. You know what I'm saying? Get my order. And like, they give you a little thing like that buzzes. It's a little thing that buzzes that lets you know the order's ready. So anyway, I walk over to the table. I start putting my shit down. I'm just like, I'm gonna put my shit down, and then I was about to put my fucking my drink on the table, and I realized I need to pop so I need the bottle opener. I was like, damn, let me walk back over there. Now, mind you, when I sat at the table, when I set my shit down at the table, I had to assess. I had to assess the surroundings. So I had to like figure out what's going on in my surroundings right now. I just seen a dude got this Griffey jersey on. He got this might have been a Dodgers. No, I don't think it was a Dodgers cap. It was just like it was a blue cap. Excuse me, because it was a Mariners cap. So he had the Griffey jersey. He had the blue Mariners cap, and like he was just he was what you call it? He was decked out. I mean, he was dripped out, and he's there with his girl, and his little kids are running around. So I'm not making. I was like, that's another Spanish family. But he's like one of the Spanish families. He probably just from Seattle. That's what I'm thinking, because he do got a Griffey jersey. He just decked out. He dressed down and everything. I just set my shit down. He kind of turns his head, you know what I'm saying? He kind of just turns around, looks at me, look real quick, and then his wife looks at me, and I'm just kind of, I look to the side and I glance, and I noticed them kind of seeing, going my way too. I was going kind of looking my direction, and my whole thing was like, I don't know if they're just watching me or if they're just trying to, a lot of times when you're in certain situations, you check people out just to make sure they're cool, but sometimes they do the same thing for you too. And I just recognize that. I'm like, they're just checking if I'm cool too. Like I'm just walking around here, because I live down there, so I'm real comfortable. Anyway, I'm like, let me pop the whatever bottle cap off the jarrito or whatever. So I walk over, pop it off. I start walking back in. Yo, this motherfucker turns around and he's like, Junior, are you Junior? And I looked at him. I said, oh shit. So I'm not gonna tell you his real name, but that's my guy. I talked about him a long time ago in my life. I used to box with this dude all the time, sixth grade, seventh grade. He used to live. I used to live on 18th. He used to live on 18th too. He used to be up there too. He used to live on the Madison side. I lived on Cherry. You know what I'm saying? So he was on one end of the end of 9122. I'm on the other end, but we kind of in the same little section. Half a mile to about half a mile to a mile apart, something like that. Half a mile to three-quarters of a mile apart. But we used to go to the same boxing gym. We fight all the time, and we were talking. And he was like, "Man, how you been doing, man? You look good." Da, da, da. And then we're talking about the old boxing days. He said, "Man, one thing I'll say about you, man, is you were always consistent. I remember you showed up every day, man. That shit was inspiring." That's what he was saying to me. I said, "Bro, I used to show up all the time because you used to whip my ass all the time, and I needed that. You gotta understand." I was telling him, I was like, "Bro," because I swear I thought he was a year older than me. Come to find out, he was just a grade above me, but we're like the same age. We're just like 6 months apart. But the funny, or 5 or 6 months apart. But then like me and him were talking. He's like, bro, you were always consistent. I was like, bro, I needed you though. I like if you weren't there to swing on me and just like, you know what I'm saying? Because he was just sitting there, he'd hit his straights, 1-2s, and he throws hooks every now and again. That was his whole style because he was like growing up street fighting and shit. But I was like, yo, I needed that. You understand? He said, no, but you showed up and like, I guess we were just inspiring each other. I didn't even know that. But he's a grown fucking man and he had like 2 kids running around. I said, bro, how many kids you got now? He said, man, I got like 6. I was like, damn, bro. So I ain't seen it. I didn't know, man. We hadn't seen this dude in hell of years, bro. And then we start catching up, talking about how the neighborhood changed a lot. We start catching up about certain people that we grew up around, and rest in peace. My guy Quincy. We just R.I.P. to dead and all that shit. Shout out to certain people that just didn't have their mind right, but they was walking around the same neighborhood too, just kind of just hella active for no reason. So we were just sitting there chopping it up. But like I said, I ain't seen this dude. And that's funny because I told him I was like, bro, bro, I haven't seen you in a long time, but there was one time I was walking at the gym and apparently you walked in and I didn't notice. And then the coach told me the next day. So I remember walking out and I saw this dude, face tats and all this shit, just walking out or walking in the gym. As I'm walking out, I'm ready to go home. And then literally I come back the next day and my coach is like, yo, you just walked past whoop-de-wop. I said, swear. He's like, yeah. I was like, damn, that motherfucker. I was like, he had all them tattoos. That motherfucker look hella different. Because last time I seen him, we were all kids just fighting. We're all like, and I think last time me and him sparred, I was probably like a freshman or eighth grade. It was like eighth grade or freshman. He was out there running the streets and he didn't do shit for a long time. He came back to the gym. It might have been because I told him, I was like, hey man, just come back to the gym, bro. I don't got no one to spar with. I used to say that to Quincy all the time because I was like, Quincy, I got no one to hang out and to kick it with. I'm just with all these other like random white kids and people that show up because their parents will drop them off at the gym, but they're not necessarily like they're not like us where we just show up on our own, our own too, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We show up just like, hey man, we want to be here today rather than like our parents signing us up for an after school program type shit. So anyway, that's my guy. That's my fucking guy right there. So I got it. We exchanged numbers. I was like, bro, I'm just keep in touch with you. I want to check on him, bro, see how he's doing. He let me know his family's doing good. It was crazy, man. It was crazy to see, dude. It was really like full circle. It was like one of those, all the times you ever see someone in passing and you're not sure that's them, or you just never say hi, and like we just got a chance to catch up. But I'm sitting there like, damn, man, I'm motherfucker still out here. And for a long time, he wasn't able to come back to what's it called? I guess for a while he wasn't able to come back to Seattle. To my understanding, I guess he had did some shit. What's going on? Oh my God, Chief! The Chief is in the building. What's going on, Chief? Hey, living man, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm just sitting here, Chief. I don't know if you just got in or if you've been in the whole time, but yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm just here just reminiscing, and it's crazy because I'm sitting there chopping it up with this dude, and there was a time period. I guess he couldn't. I guess my coach was saying he could have come back to Seattle. I said, well, why can't he come back to Seattle? He said he just did some shit, so he can't come back for a while. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So come to find out over time, I thought he did some like just was doing some hood shit, but I guess what happened was, his dad was sitting there. This might be TMI. His dad was just sitting there putting his hands on him and his sister. Not in a, I don't know if it was a violating way, but I think he was just beating the kids or whatever. But I think he had enough one day. And he just fucked his dad up, and I ain't even mad at that. And like I said this before, last time I was on live, like I'm not trying to put the business out there, but I will say, if I can go back in time, I wish he would have invited me to whip his dad's ass with him, because I would have been a little kid, teenager, swinging on his dad too for being abusive. I said, fuck all that shit. My bad. Let me read this. I'm in Eugene getting ready for reggae show. Oh, okay, okay. That's what's up, man. You gonna be out there performing? Hell yeah, man. Randomly, I just got done listening to Beanie Man Has a Tiny Desk concert, man. I just got done listening to that shit. I was hype. I was like, damn, Beanie Man are with a tiny desk. And I re-listened to Rum and Red Bull for it real quick. Yeah, yeah, that was a ticking time bomb. Yeah, man, it's crazy because he just kind of like, he just kind of like, I didn't know. And when we were kids, I just didn't know. So it was like one of them things where it's like, when I didn't see him for a while, and then come to find out, he had to move away from Seattle. It was just weird. I was like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And then like over time, and then maybe like last year, 2 years ago, my coach was like, yeah, that I don't know if you know the whole story, but yeah, his dad was just sitting there, abusing all the kids. So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know. Abuse is like, it's a broad term, right? It's not a specific type of abuse, but I was like, nonetheless, I wish I was there with him, just swinging on him, bro. Like, but he had enough. Like at some point, he grew up to be a teenager, and my bad. Sooner or later will come. Oh yeah, 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 man. That's what's crazy, man. And he was a. That's what I'm saying. So the guy was speaking about, me and him, we used to box since we were kids. Like we were. I come to find out we're the same age, so it's like we're 12. We were, yeah, 12 years old. So that was one of the things that was going on. But I don't know. It's just weird, man. I never thought about it, but it's just like, damn, I don't know. That's one of those, if I could really go back in time kind of things. You know what I mean? Cash, what's going on? It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Here it is, baby. It's Saturday. It's a, hey, all right. So let me put this out there, because the beginning of the live, and then like kind of in the middle, based on where we are now, I kind of just spoke about how like pretty much the past couple of days, like literally everyone's energy has been kind of like low and just kind of bogged down and stuff like that. And I'm just over here trying to say, like, the littlest thing you do for yourself, man, will help you each morning you wake up. And I'm starting to recognize the few, that's like I guess you would say that's a form of self love, right? But at the same time, I'm realizing the small things that I did for myself each night that prepared me for each morning. Even though the morning, like this morning, nothing was working out, nothing worked out, but I was getting stuff done because like I just stayed on top of it, and then it started compounding, and here I am just staying smooth right now. So everything's been smooth, but I can't complain. My bad. Let me read this. Surviving the rain. It's a little like, it's like drizzly, and it's like kind of overcast, but it ain't too bad. It's pouring down there for real. Today's your birthday. Oh, today's your birthday. What? Happy birthday, Cash. Happy birthday, Cash. I didn't know that. Cash, I didn't know you were June. I can't remember if you were telling me you were June birthday or someone else, but I always talk to someone. I was either you or it might have been Jackson, aka your boy. But I was talking to him. I said, everyone born in June is crazy. I say, and I'm not trying to be funny, but everyone born in June is crazy. You know what I mean? I'm doing a birthday stream later. Hell yeah. Hey, I'm about to be in there then. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in it. Yeah, buddy. Doing a bird. Oh yeah. Hope everyone is trying their best at least. Yeah, it's really weird because it's like, I don't know what it is, man. I was in another person's stream, a Twitch stream, last night, and she was saying the same thing. She was like, "Yeah, I had to go into work today. I had to." Then company came over, and I just wasn't in the mood for none of this shit. But I kind of just went through it, forced through it, and I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, the whole day I was sitting in the living room, not wanting to be there, but I was still getting stuff done on the little AI imaging. I was sitting there, so this morning, like kind of just going through the motions, missing every single bus. I missed like 3 buses in a row, and then somehow I still got to the library. Somehow I turned on the music to get me motivated and get me grooving. Got the work done, and here I am on live. So everything's been pretty smooth, man. Everything's been pretty smooth, so I can't really complain. But I say this a lot, man. Oh yeah, and I'm doing Beyblades. Oh, you're doing Beyblades for the stream? Hell yeah. So Johnny or Chief Bongo, good luck on the concert, Chief. And Cash, happy birthday. There's a lot going on here, man. My guys are in the chat. Solarian was here a while ago. Solarian's probably gonna go live a little later tonight. I'm gonna tap in on Twitch the whole day. I'm gonna be tapped in on Twitch the whole day. I'm probably gonna prepare my Beyblades for tomorrow as well, because it's gonna be a tabletop village meetup, a little casual. You know what I'm saying? Get down, get together, whatever. So I'm gonna sit there and do that. So yeah, but all of this is like this is why I gotta hop on live more, because it's nice to, like, obviously with Chief, it's like Chief's down in Portland or whatever, so I'd have to go see him personally, but at the same time, he can tap in with me on the lives, and also he can just message me on Discord. So there's moments like that where like as long as I stay consistent, people reach out to me, and people will see me. Like at least I'm a little visible, and that way I can stay accountable and stay up to date with people, which is dope. But yeah, yeah, he's performing. I believe he's performing. What do you say, Eugene, right? Eugene. So down in Eugene, which is crazy. How far is Eugene? Like I guess is that an hour or two from Portland? I'm trying to remember if I ever went to Eugene. I've only went to Cannon Beach, Portland, Beaverton, and actually that might have been it. That might have been. I do like Cannon Beach though. I would low key move to Cannon Beach. Like it's like this weather, but like the beach is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like the way the coast looks on Oregon, it's really nice. We have we got a joint called Ocean Shores over here, Ocean Shores, Washington. It's really nice over there, and then it's cool because when you pull in, there's these people on the side of the road, like the little sand, it's like sand and road and whatnot. But they have these horses you can rent, so you could just horseback ride. But the thing was, if you the day we went, it was kind of like this weather. Excuse me, where it's like really cloudy and overcast. And I was like, I don't know if I want a horse ride right now. It's kind of windy. Like I kind of just want to post up. It was still warm. It was still summertime, but it was just overcast. I was like, maybe let's find a day where it's like, if we come back next time and it's better weather and whatever, maybe we'll commit to like horseback riding. But I wasn't prepared for that. I was prepared to more just sit in a little lounge chair, you know what I'm saying, and barbecue chair or whatever, and just smoke a cigar. That's what I was killing with my guys, just smoking a cigar. But yeah, it's actually at the Oregon Hemp. Hell yeah, bro, come on now. It's at the Hemp Festival in Oregon. That's fire. Playing drums for an artist called Juba White. Juba White. Okay, is it Juba or Juba? I think it's Juba. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we got a spot. We got this. That reminds me, we got this Somalian restaurant. I believe it's Somalian primarily, but I know like during Ramadan they open at night, obviously because it's sundown, right? But during Ramadan, I used to go there. I'm not Muslim or anything. I don't fast. Well, I try to fast, but I don't fast for religious purposes. But I remember going there, and this is a spot called Juba in Tukwila, man. They got some of the best food. Like they got like goat, if not chicken, with the spaghetti. I'm about to go back there when they have events down in Tukwila for Beyblade and stuff. I usually go there for like lunch or dinner or whatever after the event. It's hella dope. Every time my family rented out a house for a few nights at Ocean Shores, the weather was exactly like today. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember biking in the rain one time. We went mainly for a race. Oh, you know what? That's another thing too. Is like I forgot the legality of razor clamming, but I mean you can get away with shit. You know what I'm saying? You can really just get away with shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, delicious. Hey, one time I forget the laws, but like I remember I was about maybe 14, and then my friend, he's about 15, 16. He took me fishing because like at the time, like I guess links that used to be on Rainier was like you don't need a license for your age, so you can just go fishing with your friends. I'm like, all right, cool. We go to the lake, we grab a couple fish, and I think there's a rule about throwing it back into Lake Washington. But I took that shit back home. I asked my dad, I was like, can you cook these? And they were kind of small, kind of big, and then he just fried them up and put some like tomatoes, cilantro on this, or tomatoes and green onions on the side type shit. Put it over rice. You know how Filipinos do it. That shit was bomb. I ain't gonna lie. We're sitting there eating that shit. Like, yo, we caught this today. My friend was teaching me how to fish. My friend's from Louisiana, so people down south they already they get that like what's his name? Going freaks, man. They be like going freaks with the fucking fishing rod type shit. Real food, right? Yeah, man, real food. Um, I need to like I was thinking about that today because like I was eating a like banana and yogurt or some shit. I was like, yeah, I need to eat more. Okay, that's what I was gonna. You know what? You guys just reminded me. That's what I wanted to get on live and say, and I gotta remember to say this on every live. My goal is to just try to get into the entrepreneurial spirit, trying to tap into more of the entrepreneurial spirit, and then have more independent money. The more independent money I have, I could just wake up every morning and then just eat as much fruit as possible. So that's what I want to do. Is I want to just have my own money and freedom, and then just wake up and eat fruit, and then just live peacefully throughout my days, and then maybe live stream, maybe record more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just create more music, maybe just create more art, just in general. That's all I want to do. You know what I'm saying? At this point, and that's the only way I can kind of keep balance with all this stuff. I was thinking about this earlier, man. I thought about this earlier. Excuse me, I thought about that very specifically earlier, and I was thinking like that's really the whole goal in life is like I want to just kind of tap into as much positivity in YouTube and within myself as possible. If it's monetized, it's monetized. If not, not. But like other than that, I always try to hop on live as much as I can. I need to just tap back into the energy more, reground myself into doing lives consistently. But nonetheless, like I just want to consistently eat more fruit, throughout my days and like throughout just in general. Like you need obviously like if I get a meal that has like beef and chicken and meat and stuff like that, it is able to sit in my stomach for a certain amount of time, and I can just kind of chill out. But like obviously, if I have fruits, I gotta eat a little more. So I want to have enough financial whatever, so I can just like have more fruit. But also like I want to own some land, so I can just plant some fruit trees, and over time I can just eat more fruit. But that's like later down the line type shit. You know what I'm saying? Either that or I just invest or buy like land that already has fruit trees on it, which would be nice. But also like you want to live somewhere. That makes me want to live out the country, so that way I can just go somewhere where. See, it's funny. Like back then in the neighborhood, in my own backyard, and in the whole neighborhood, you could just walk around, pull a pear or like a plum out of the fucking tree. Some backyards had apples, and then you just knock on the door and ask the people like, yo, is it cool if we get some apples? Because everyone loves apples, right? And they're like, yeah, you can go back there. But in my backyard, we had pears and plums. Sometimes them shits will fall down. It'd be all mushy in the back corner. Like, if we're playing kickball or just like whatever, playing with a toy, sometimes the toys would fly in the little back corner of the yard and it'd be all next to the mushy plums and pears. And like, we kind of just knew, like, you don't go back there because it's all the bugs and squirrels and raccoons will come eat the shit over here. Like, we just knew, like, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm just missing that. Everything's so gentrified now. All these new buildings and all these trees are getting chopped down where it's like, there's no more fruit trees, and all the fruit trees are next to like other construction sites with all this dust and bullshit, dust and like unnecessary, unnatural stones not from the area and whatnot. So I think about that shit a lot. Where like I just want to tap back into just eating fruit because even with I say this all the time, but I'm gonna say it for people here from the playback, etc. Even when you have like a vegetable, bro, it's like you uproot. I mean, and vegetables are bomb though. I fuck with vegetables, but it's like you're uprooting something that was planted, so it's something that was living too. But the fruit, it's like it'd be one thing if you uprooted the tree, because the tree is the living thing, but the fruit is the product. So like it's the product of the living thing rather than eating the living thing, and that's kind of like the what I'm going for, if that makes sense. I'm not there yet. Like I just had McDonald's like last week or something funny. I ain't gonna lie. So I had like, was that last week? It might have been 2 weeks ago. We had a tournament on Saturday. And then afterwards, we were in the shit. We was in the fucking McDonald's drive-through getting. I got the Big Mac meal, and then everybody started ordering like McFlurries. I'm like, okay, let me get a McFlurry too. Let me get the whatever. What I get, Oreo or some cookie shit. I forgot what flavor it was. So I'm over here eating all this Mickey D's, bro. I'm over here just like getting bloated out here. You already know with the large soda. So I had the large soda, the large fries, McFlurry, Big Mac. We was big back in that day. I was like, bro, we out here just eating good for no reason. But we was on the drive home, so just had to get our fill. One of my friends though, he was smart. He got the McChicken. He's also Indian though, so I wonder if like that's probably what it is. He doesn't eat beef. That's probably what it is. But I'm over here like, dog, I low-key should have got a McChicken. This is hella food. And it's funny because when you eat a Big Mac, the shit be falling apart and all the little lettuce be everywhere. It'd be hella messy, bro. But that's where I'm at right now. But anyway, that's my goal. Is like I just want to get to a place where like I'm financially kind of independent, taking care of myself, and I got enough money to kind of expend on the things I want to do. But that way, I can just go out to eat places I like to eat. But then, for the most part, I want to have majority fruit diet. So that way, I'm just sitting there, and I'm trying to get nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, right? But I like to have more. Excuse me. I like to have less seedless fruit. That's one thing I'm thinking about. I don't want to have like it's funny that someone posted up a video of like a watermelon that had seeds in it and they weren't used to it. They're like, bro, have you seen this shit? This is what it looks like to have like a real, you know, watermelon with seeds in it. And then same thing with bananas. Bananas are supposed to have seeds in them as well, but we don't really eat those, on a normal basis. But we'd have to go out the country to get a majority of that, if that makes sense. Excuse me. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's what I thought about like way earlier in the morning. And then I can't lie, I was sitting there like in the library like an hour or so ago. I'm sitting there and right away I'm thinking about like what am I trying to say? Let me backtrack. What I was thinking about was this. I'll give an example, man. Everybody's on some like crash out, my bad, everybody's on some like crash out energy. You know what I'm saying? Before I forget though, shout out to Chief Bongo and happy birthday to Cash Artist. Shout out to Solaren who was in the chat, dude. Those are all my people right there. They're my mods, they're my people, they're good people. And then but what I was gonna say was I thought about this within myself in general because like I said, I was applying to like 4 or 5 different jobs while I'm sitting there. Like one of them took hella long. Yo, what's going on with this, man? Yo, you'll see this spider? Spiders in the yo, come on, get back here. Yo. Hey man, there's like a spider web and a spider kind of flying, but I don't know if it's attached to me. I don't think it is, but anyway, kind of just flew off. Yo, the wind is just carrying this dude. But anyway, um, applying to these jobs, and I started thinking to myself, like, what if the employer's asking me this specific question of why did you lose your last job? Will you be honest? And I'm thinking to myself, like, there's no telling what I'll say or do in that moment, because who knows how I'll be feeling leading up to that moment. But hopefully, I would hope that I'm the most honest I can be, because I want to be able to sit there and say like, hey, honestly, I was at a point where I almost crashed out on a few people. If they asked me to define crash out, I'd have been like, well, specifically, there was someone who's there's someone I wanted to whip his ass. I wanted to just, fuck him up physically, you know what I'm saying? Just beat his ass, pause, whatever. So I'm just sitting there like, I know, like, I want to be honest about it because I don't want to lie to employers. And they're like, how did you handle it? I handled it by just leaving the job and just making sure I took care of myself. So if you're wondering about my gap between February to now, why there's a gap between my jobs is for this reason. So I think for me, it's important to be honest about that. Whether that gets me the job or not, I don't care as long as I'm being honest. Does that make sense? So I know within myself, I don't want to work a job, but I know that, like, I want to win the job over by being my most honest self. I'm not gonna lie in my resume. I'm not gonna lie in the interview. I'm gonna tell you exactly who I am and where I'm at. It's like, well, when do you look forward to work? And I was like, within a week, and I'll let you know how I feel while I'm at the job too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll let you know. But I think I took a good amount of weeks and months off to really, recenter myself, if that makes sense. But for the most part, I just kind of just need the income. But anyway, I started thinking to myself about the crash out energy. I was like, a lot of times you don't want to put that on anyone. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to sit there and victimize someone because of all the anger that you've accumulated within yourself, whether it's you dealing with your shit or not, and you want to take it out on one person that just takes you off for that one thing. You understand? Someone can take you off one time. Someone could just, like, back to what Chief was saying, the ticking time bomb. Someone can piss you off that one time, but hopefully you're distributing and redistributing that energy back to the people rightfully that were doing it to you, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Proper retribution, if you will. People who are actually pissing you off, you give the energy back to them. You meet them halfway, or you kill them with kindness. You know what I'm saying? I like killing people with kindness. You know what I mean? But we got to find a better whatever with that. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there, killing with kindness, it makes sense. But the word killing is in it, so we got to be real mindful about little sayings and shit. Anyway, I started thinking about it. I was like, yo, let's just put this in perspective metaphorically, real quick. A lot of times people will say stuff like, I'm wrestling with my inner demons. I'm over here trying to balance out, I'm wrestling with my inner demons. That's how they say it. And sometimes some demons come out and they crash out on somebody. They whoop someone's ass. They hurt someone in the worst way. They hurt someone's feelings. They offend someone in the worst way. The demons come out that they were wrestling with. Now, let's say, for instance, you know what I'm saying, you decide to go that path. They say hurt people hurt people. So the moment you hurt someone, that person's going to be hurt as well. And then they're going to continue the cycle of hurting someone else unless they're strong within themselves. You understand? So I thought about this today where I was like, that's a stronger reason for me to kind of withhold and try not to crash out on people and kind of resolve things within myself in a more peaceful, harmonic way, if you will. And I thought about this because, wrestling with the demons within myself, if not the anger, and the damage I could do to someone. If you actually do it to someone, a damaged person is gonna go out there and try to damage more people. You understand? You gotta really work that shit within yourself, whether that's therapy or just like self-assessment, self-examination, or even just staying out the way. That shit is important. You understand? So for me, I started thinking. I just thought about this like I said, a couple hours ago. I really just thought about it. I was like, yo, it's really important that, like, within myself, I don't crash out on anyone, because I thought about it. I was like, it could activate an energy into them that either take out on their kids. If they don't take it on their kids, they take it out on the next coworker. If they don't take it on the next coworker, they take it on the next pedestrian, the next random old lady that just sits there and interrogates them, even their own grandma who sits there and interrogates them. They can take it on the wrong person. So I thought about it. I was like, releasing the demons within myself is also activating the demons within other people. And you got to be careful of shit like that. You understand? The devil recognizes his own. That's one of my favorite lines in my movie, The City of God. City of God, that's my favorite movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of it was just a lot of like robbery and drug dealing. I was like, yo, this shit crazy right here. I fuck with this movie. But when he was sitting there about to smoke up with the taxi cab driver, and he said, yo, the devil recognizes his own, that shit had me cracking up. I was like, yo, it's real subtle, but it made a lot of sense to me. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is, man. But you don't want to activate the demon. When you're on demon time, you activate that shit in other people. But it's almost like a weak thing when you really think about it. It's like, oh, yo, society got me thinking I gotta rob people and do what I gotta do. That's fair. That's logically fair. But it's almost a weak thing, because at some point, if you do it for 1 year, that's one thing. If you do it for a couple months, even better. Do it for a week and stop. You do it for one day and you stop. Way better, way better, way better. But if you're doing that shit for more than a year, and you think that's the only way you know how to get it, you out here fucking up. Because that just means that you're in a whatever where you just want to sit there and consistently fuck with people, and that's a bad habit. You know what I'm saying? That's just a bad habit. But yeah, let's get to moving. I've been talking for a good 60 minutes type shit the whole time. The whole reason why I hopped on live realistically. Oh, there we go, there we go. The whole reason why I hopped on the live was because, like, like I said, I wear the Cubs hat because we're playing the Cubs today, and I'm like, if I wear this hat, we got to win. So I'm pretty sure somebody got a home run. I got to double check the score because last time I checked, it was like 10-6. We were losing, but I don't know, man. Hopefully we won. Hopefully we beat them. I'm pretty sure we won though. Make sure I get everything because we had a weird like 6-game losing streak, and then we kind of bounced back two games, 2 out of 1 for Cleveland or something. And then we beat Chicago yesterday. Cal Raleigh made history. Like I said, Cal Raleigh made history of them home runs. A catcher getting home runs type shit. He's doing a whole lot in 1 year. He's probably up there as one of the greatest Mariners just off of this one season. I mean, his whole career itself is good. He got a long career ahead of him. I'm fighting back a sneeze, forgive me. But this 1 year, man, he's a catcher making all these home runs, so he's making catcher home run history in that regard. But he also is leading. He's the leading player with the most home runs this season. I think it's who's behind him. I think it's Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. And Shohei Ohtani went back on the mound a couple of days ago. I think he only did 1 inning, which is funny. But that's all right. I hope we get to play the Dodgers soon. I think we'll smack them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm pretty sure we got a chance to beat them. We're having some up and down kind of days right now. We're at the top of the West for a while, but that is what it is. But anyway, yeah, man, that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to sit there and re-exercise within myself. It's a good, this slowdown period where I'm sitting there, staying in bed for 12, 13 hours, just kind of relaxing and feeling unproductive about it. I'm recognizing the unproductive feeling, but I'm also like, this gives me time to really reflect and really be honest with myself nonetheless. And I'm sitting there able to let myself know, like, yo, man, you got some shit within yourself. You still need to exercise. You got some things in yourself you really need to examine. And, not put such a pressure on it, putting pressure on it, that a lot of things can happen with that. It could either self-implode or just crush. You know what I'm saying? Crushing yourself, man, that's you hurting yourself. Back to the cycle of, hurting people, keeping it real simple. You hurt yourself, you know what I'm saying? When you're done hurting yourself, once you start feeling good about yourself, what do you start doing with that feel good energy? Start feeling good about hurting others now? You got to really examine that. So that's why the exercise has to look different now. The exercise now is just peace talks, man. You understand? Exercise now looks like peace talks within myself. So then I exercise peace talks with others in the long run, however that looks. But that's just me, though. That's just me. That's how I've always operated. I'm so used to other people's accents and vernaculars. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't understand the word vernacular, I will kind of break it down. It's kind of like vernacular is like, let's say you're in the medical field. If you're in the medical field, you're going to hear a lot of, large vocabulary words, scientific vocabulary words, but also a lot of it's going to come from like Latin. So there's medical field, there's even like the zoology field, because like a wolf, the species or the kingdom or whatever the fuck, that shit comes from like lupus or loop something, because then that relates to like the wolf family. Canines really, that relates to the teeth, certain teeth, like the little, humans have canines too, you know what I'm saying, but it relates to the dogs as well. So feline, that's that's the cat, right? So that would be a vernacular. That would be the zoology. That would be the medical vernacular. That would be whatever. So we could talk about a hood vernacular. We could talk about a social media vernacular, YouTube vernacular, emoji vernacular. So that's what I mean when I say that. If that makes sense to people or not. But yeah, nonetheless, though, I'm just trying to stay sharp and stay focused. But it's any period where I feel unproductive is a time to heal and rest. You know what I'm saying? And I say this all the time, whether I was talking boxing or whatever. You quit YouTube. Is that Summer? Is that you? Let me know if that's you, Summer. It looked like the same photo, but I don't know if that's you. Yeah, I was about to say that is Summer. I remember the photo. I never forget the photo. Why did you quit YouTube? Why is that your name now? That's funny though. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah. How you been doing? But yeah, it's interesting because like, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. My bad. Talking about vernacular over here, and then I'm talking about exercising shit within myself. Um, yeah, it doesn't matter like your job pays 1 cent per year, bro. You talking about YouTube? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what you're saying. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is like this. So when Jax was still here, I used to tell Jax, I was like, just put your Cash App in your description. If you put your Cash App in your description, that way people can pay you directly. And I learned that. Shout out to my friend. Shout out to my friend Amanda, aka Tropical Empress in spirit. She was she when she does the tarot card readings, she's like, you got to pay me 30 on my PayPal. Through my PayPal is probably the best thing. And she's like, if you sit here and send a super chat, it's not that she's like, it's not that I don't get the money. It's just that I get a fraction of it, like pretty much like 50% of the super chat. So for every $5 that people send, she gets about 250. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So it's just like she encourages people like, even though I'm monetized and I'm at this level, make sure you send it to my PayPal. For me, I'm like, I can't access my PayPal link for whatever reason. So I guess you'd have to put in like the old information, but I put my Cash App. I don't know if I put Venmo. I think I can put Venmo in there, but we'll see. I don't know if it's smarter to do that, but I have Cash App, so most people have Cash App, I would say. He drove a shit box and beat Audi racing. Beating Audi racing your dad's 2012 Toyota Yaris shitbox edition. That's really what it's called. That's crazy. Nah, I get you. But yeah, it's good to hear from that. So you're monetized though. You're monetized though, and beat Audi. So that's funny as hell. But yeah, you're really monetized though. What's that like? The 2022. Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. I was just joking around too. That's funny. I don't know much about cars, but I guess it's funny. I was in this one dude I knew. He used to drive around in a Subaru. It was like a race car. I forget exactly what it was. It was on some like initial D type shit. And I remember asking him. I was like, "What what kind of car is this? Is this like a Honda?" He said, "Whoa, no, 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 no." And he got defensive. He said, "Hey, don't ever call her a Honda." And he's over here tapping the dashboard like, "It's all right. He didn't mean that." So I was like, he's in tune with his car. And I was sitting there cracking up. I was like, "My bad, my bad. It's a Subaru, right?" He said, "Yeah, it's a Subaru." So we started talking a bit. I was like, "I don't know my car like that, man, because all of my friends, all my homies that had race cars, they always had these like souped up Hondas, or they had the 8.6. You know what I'm saying? My one friend I had, he had the 8.6 Truancy, which is hilarious. As if we are talking, exactly, as if we are talking me. Oh, my bad. 145. For what purpose? Oh, yes, I do agree. Us Asians drift into TRDRs. I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. Like I said, I don't know my cars, bro. As if we are talking me. Yeah, I don't actually know, man. I don't know my cars that well. That's the thing. But like I said, one dude I knew, he was half Vietnamese, but he did have the 8.6. You know what I'm saying? How's it going? Excuse me. How's it going? Hey, you guys live right here? Where's your parents at? You guys are right here, right? Okay, just making sure. But yeah, as if we are talking me. I'm trying to think like Talking me had the 8.6, but then who had? There was Godhand and Godfoot, but I forget who raced against Keisuke. Even though Keisuke I think won, if that makes sense. Even though Keisuke won, I'm not Muslim. It's funny. I just talked about that earlier. But who the fuck did he race? It was Godfoot. But Godfoot's car and then Keisuke's car. If I ever had to get like a race car, I would say that's the one. That's the one I would That's what I'm looking for. That's the one I don't know what it's called. What the fuck is that shit called? It was like the R something. GTR something. You know what I mean? It's the fucking GTR whatever. My bad. I'm just making sure that those parents were nearby. I'm still thinking about that shit. You better be. Everywhere I go, man. Everywhere I go, it's like I'll be seeing like random kids walking to and from. Like it's one thing if they go to school, going to and from school. I'm like, all right, go the fuck home. But when I just see random kids like that walking around the street, like looking for fruit and shit, I'm like, bruh, what are you guys doing? Like, go the fuck home. But apparently to them, their parents are living up there just watching them from the porch. So that's good. But I'm like, yo, we need a parent out there on the fucking corner just watching them. Like it's not a bad area. I mean, that's questionable. Cause I'm near my house and like my house got hella shooting for no reason though. That's some bullshit. It's always like a block up from the crib too. But yeah, Best channel ever. Meet this guy, Mr. Beast. Yeah, I appreciate. I mean, I don't know if I want that responsibility, man. I just want to make my thousands and tens of thousands, and it's chill. I just want my dividends coming. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get there, get my little dividends and shit. If I can get that, I'm chilling. I'll be chilling though. But you know, it's funny that dude. He bought the 86 Trueno. I don't know shit about it, but we were in the, like I was in there. It was like a 2-seater. So in the back he had the cage. So we were sitting. I can't remember where the fuck we went, but we were sitting there drifting and shit. But he has another car. I forget what it's called. New Year's Eve. We're kicking it with him. This dude was speeding down. I forget the name of the bridge that goes from like the north end. This dude was hitting like 110, 115 in that shit. That shit was smooth though. It was like I didn't feel like I was gonna die. That's how smooth the fucking car was, bro. I was like, this shit is crazy as hell. 115 miles per hour type shit on a bridge. He was like, "Hey, watch this." He looked left and right. He started jetting. I was like, "Bro, this shit's crazy right now." Look, is out there. But no, he used to want to drift. You know, everybody that watched the anime, everybody that watched like Fast Furious or even Tokyo Drift, they was trying to drift. That was that era of time. I don't even think there's like racing shit nowadays. For safety reasons, I don't even know what the racing stuff is. Like the most racing people do is Mario Kart. You know what I'm saying? Most motherfuckers can't like really get a car right now unless they got both parents in their lives putting down payments on the whip. And even that's kind of rare. But yeah. Yo, Summer, I appreciate it though, man. I appreciate the Summer. I always appreciate you dropping in. I gotta watch my footing over here. Shit is uneven, bro. Should be uneven, though. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, bro. What's up? Like, I can't even front because it's like on one end, like when I was about 11 or 12, we were just walking around by our damn selves too, and I'm sitting there like, bro, I can't even trip, but I be worried about shit. I be worried about shit all the time. And they got this whole new construction. Hold on. I was about to make this like the little banner for the page because I'm like, all this shit's under work, bro. We ain't there yet. We almost though, but we're not there yet. This is a better shot right here. Let me go right here. I was about to make this shit the banner, low key. Like we not built yet, but we almost there, type shit, you know. But imagine that you got this crib right here, and they built up. They knocked them houses down. They built this shit up, and they're gonna build some new shit. Probably looking the same. You know what I mean? Same shit. 3, 4 stories up with a rooftop top joint. That's what they've been doing this whole time. That's what the whole neighborhood turned into. A little blocky shit, but it's probably efficient, cost efficient, and it's also probably like what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? Is the ventilation and shit. You know, the ventilation and the heating and cooling is all good there. Everything is smooth, so I can't really get mad at it. It's a more efficient house. I mean, in terms of cleaning and knocking it down, like things are kind of just more, you know, it's different. You know what I mean? It's different. Like I think for me, I wish I could have like one of those old school houses that people built brick by brick, like little stonemason fucking house or whatever you call it, like the houses where people use like actual wood and brick. I just like the thought of those old houses where it's like the floorboards are creaking, and I like the old school houses, bro. I just like those. You know, I grew up in a house, so it's like that's part of the feeling. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a house that like it was already a big decent house. I would say it's already a big decent house, and then it ends up getting crazier. You know, y'all gotta watch the RZA on Drink Champs, the RZA from Wu-Tang Clan, the RZA on Drink Champs, when he breaks down Raekwon the Chef and how Raekwon the Chef broke down New York history in 6 bars. You know what I'm saying? Like just breaking down New York history and like the life of a kid in New York during a certain decade and era. Like he was breaking down. He's like a lot of people can't do what he did. You know what I'm saying? Visually, artistically, and like lyrically and shit. So I started thinking about that today, man. Because Raekwon basically he had a whole verse talking about going from a kid with decent living to a kid forced to rob and shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of people I know, low key. Yeah, that's damn near our household. That's what happened to us. I mean, you know, not the crime though. I'm gonna take that out. But yeah, nonetheless, same shit. I'm just trying to step it on nothing. know what I'm saying? Same shit. That should be documented, man. That's where I'm at right now with all this, bro. I guess to double back to what I was saying earlier. Let me hit the button right here. I'm about to get in the house in a second. I'm about to cross the street though. But the point I'm making is like, that's the goal here. Stay focused on it. Stay focused on like the positive side of it. Make sure that it makes sense to me. Oh shit green. Make sure it makes sense to me and make sure I push it forward. And then on top of that, if I get to a certain point, just try to live and exercise a place where I'm just eating more fruit and eating more healthy, like more natural foods, I guess you would say. I need to get a tree. I need to get a fruit tree. That's like the main thing. If I can get a fruit tree, I can have like at least one like piece of fruit a day. That's like the goal at least. Like I said, I might have to go at the country. It's like the best bet. Like, wow, you can reinvent certain things, but you can also go to places where it's already happening, and that's kind of the thought process. So I might just go somewhere where it's already popping, and then from there just kind of work, just work around that because it's working smarter and not harder. That's the whole gist of this shit. Let me go chill here for a second before I get to the house. But yeah, man, there it is, bro. Um, but yeah, man, when I started to really sit there and examine the crash out energy, that's when I realized, like, okay, I understand now. I understand what needs to be done. Um, Self-examining and rehabbing myself within myself. So I got a lot of work to do still. You know what I mean? Hopefully, surely, slowly but surely, I'll get there, man. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But we're going to stay working on this stuff. Hold on, let me check something. It's just a number. But yeah, I got my headphones. I'll send my backpack. But I'm going to check on that later. Might have to call somebody, hit them up, see what's going on with them. But yeah, man, there it is, man. I'm out. All right. I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. Leave y'all on a positive note, man. Shout out to my people. Shout out to Solaren, Cash Artist. Shout out to Chief Bongo. Shout out to Summer who dropped in on me, saying nice positive things. I appreciate everyone that dropped in on me. Thank you, man. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Peace.